so this is global news 2 days ago. That is supposedly this this dive vessel, right? It's got this huge bubble on this thing that they're showing. So this obviously is not the vessel that...
Not the same thing.
Not the same thing, because that one has a tiny little port like it would have to be. They just showed it for a second there. That was not the big bulb.
There's the viewing port.
I got these from Camper World.
So Camper World, yeah.
What kind of nonsense is this?
Saying this on television, the CEO of Oceangate.
We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Game controller.
So how?
This thing goes down further than the supposed military can. Okay? Look at what a joke this is.
We couldn't find any more footage of this thing underwater than this thing.
This is it. This is the only clip.
Here you can see this. And one of the things that you need to understand about going down in the water is the deeper you go, you lose light.
Where are the lights?
Yeah.
Where are the lights? Where are the lights? Where are the tanks with the oxygen in them, bro?
Here's the problem with the lights, right? So you need to have a transparent glass, right, in order for the light to be able to go through it. And now you're limited by your transparent materials as to how much pressure those things can handle. So camera lens, a light, all these things, at what point does that material collapse and break under pressure?
Inside, it's about the size of a minivan. 5 people with snacks, a little bit of water.
All right, so 5 people are getting into this thing, and they need to have air. So when they're exhaling, they're putting out not reusable air. Where's the air? Where's the air?
Where's the air supply to the tank? The whole thing is just so ridiculous, you guys.
But only enough air to breathe. It's estimated for about another day and a half.
How does he come up with that?
A day and a half. 5 people can get into a tank this size. We already heard that it's not tethered. They're not getting air from the surface. But look at this. You got these like 1/2-inch bolts every foot going around here.
So what kind of gasket is in between there? Do you even see a gasket?
There's no gasket. No gasket.
There's no gasket. That's
the machining's so perfect that when they bolt this down, it can't leak.
Titan is headed there in June. It can dive 4,000 meters, thanks in part.
4,000 meters. Look at what did they have on the gauge here? 13,000 feet. All right.
Yeah.
13,000 feet. You can.
That gauge wouldn't even survive at 13,000.
They're joking with people. Look at it. It says, "Fine, pure, rainy."
Thanks in part to its carbon fiber structure.
All right, so carbon fiber. If you're making a high pressure container, let's say you want to put a whole bunch of gas into a cylinder, what they do is they use carbon fiber and they wrap it around the tank because it's extremely strong in its tensile strength. And that way the tank can't really explode because the carbon fiber binds it in. But here we have the absolute opposite problem because all of the pressure is going to be pushing against this carbon fiber shell inwards. Yeah, so...
How strong is the walls of a pop can? Everybody in the chat, little test that we can all verify.
All right, but everybody look at the size of this hinge and understand that if this was heavy structural steel, you would need way more than a hinge like this. All right, so this isn't heavy metal, this is aluminum.
Tony says this frame will feel about 150 million pounds of pressure near the ocean floor. But
what?
150 million pounds of pressure?
150 million pounds of pressure. So all that pressure is on all this equipment, everything, if it's going down that deep. And then where's the lights? Where's the cameras on this vehicle? Look around it and you won't see any of that. This is inside, then it doesn't really do a whole lot. If it's outside, you got some serious problems here. So somebody's going to pay $250,000 to get inside this thing, get bolted in, go down 13,000 feet where the pressure is obviously going to crush this thing like a soda can. Get out of here.
What a stupid hoax. What a psyop. They're fooling the people thinking they're going down 12,000 feet with that.
So this is, they call it the bathysphere. It was a unique deep-sea submersible, unpowered and lowered into the ocean on a cable. Their dive set several consecutive world records. The record set by the deepest of these to a depth of 3,028 feet.
3,000 feet. That's nowhere near 12,500.
Remember, it's one thing to go down without a window, right? Because it's going to be a lot stronger. But then you can't see anything, so what's the point of going down there? So he was studying undersea wildlife. Right? So talks about the window. The sphere had openings for 3-inch thick windows made of fused quartz. So this is the real problem. If you want to have a transparent material, you're limited in your options as far as how much pressure they can withstand.
And we're saying this only went down 3,000 feet.
There's a big difference between this design and the one of the oceangate one. And it's basically a sphere which is going to hold the pressure in all directions in a much different way than like a pill shape's going to. One, the thing is you need to realize what happened at that depth. There's also a story that goes with it. Let's see here. Here's a picture of trying to loosen the wing nut. Got water pouring out of it. And this isn't a window right here. Notice that.
Look at the size of those bolts. Look at those bolts. They're way larger. They're about 5 to 10 times larger than the bolts on the so-called Titan.
Beebe heard the winch's engine straining under its weight. He quickly concluded that the vessel had filled with water, thereby becoming much heavier. So the bathysphere was the first one. That's the one that at 3,000 feet, it cracked its window, right? There's a good thing nobody was in there, right? Yeah, so these depths, the 1,700 feet, the 1,800 feet, there's no light down there. So this is the bathyscope. This is the one that broke the record. And there it is at the Maritime Museum. So this chunk of metal, right, they said that they were able to drop this to a larger depth. But this is to get to 3,000 feet, everybody. There we go.
Giant steel ball.
Depth rating 10,000 feet before crushing. Remember, the Titanic's supposed to be at 13,000 feet, and this thing would crush at 10,000 feet. Get out of here with that. I mean, that's our debunk of the whole...
And then go into perspective.